Hey guys, it's me Meteor, and welcome to the True Arena of Return of Dreamland Deluxe. Here we're going to be doing it no abilities, no guarding, and no souvenirs. If I'm being perfectly honest, it wasn't really that difficult. It was probably one of the easiest ones I've done like this. But whatever, we'll see exactly why as it continues. Either way, our first opponent in this Onslaught is going to be Mr. Duder EX, who pretty much just has a cool looking mustache, but aside from that, he doesn't do all too much. Just sit over here in the corner, inhale one, shoot it back, wait for him to shoot back the others, shoot him back. Then he's going to waste a lot of time just doing this little spinny tornado thing, just run away from it, slowly until you can run underneath it. It's all pretty basic stuff. And then slams down, grab the star, jumps 3 times, inhale, shoot him back, inhale all the snakes, and that's phase 1 down already. Very, very simple. But I'm sure you've seen all these strategies before when I did the original Return of Dreamland, because they're all pretty much exactly the same. The real difficult stuff comes much later, which is like all the new stuff. And you can definitely tell the new stuff just shows how much HAL has improved in boss making ever since this game. But when you go to play the old bosses again, it's just, well, it doesn't cut it. But either way, first boss is down. Hooray for that. Next up, our opponent is Wispy Woods EX. Probably one of the harder ones to take no damage from, just due to how much RNG it has with placement of different enemies and so on and so forth. Either way, first attack, he's going to shoot off 3 tornadoes. Just stay in this corner here. Voila, you can avoid it every time. And then note where the good apples are. Shoot him back, and I managed to not hit him once by hitting the other apple and not him. Whoops. Either way, let's try this. Hit them both. Then just to wait for the air pellets. You're going to either run close to him so the air pellets don't hit you, or float above them, whichever works. Now with this, same difference. Just avoid and make sure you stay away from that purple apple, because it will damage you. You can't inhale it. You cannot touch it. Anyway, first phase is down, and now he grows really big and isn't really too much more of a threat. Just float up next to him to the top right, and nothing he could do could hurt you. He'll just drop the apples, grab one as you land, and shoot it back. And pretty much the rest of his moves are almost exactly the same. It doesn't really have too much, except now you'll see Scarfies here. But that's it. Hooray! 2 down. Only, what are we at? 19 left? 20 left? I don't even know what the number was. 19 left. Alright, Sphere Doomers. Yeah, after doing Revenge of Dreamland's arena, this is almost like joke-worthy. I can't... I'm so used to them being super fast-paced, moving all over the screen and taking up so much damage to where, and not to mention their HP is significantly higher than just 3 hits, but alas. And then I did run too early here. You're supposed to, what I normally do is I wait for him to kind of go around and then run, but it didn't really change too much in the long run. It didn't change anything actually. But I made it a lot more closer than I needed it to be. Either way, black hole starts. The only thing that makes a black hole difficult is that you can't stay in the corners that way, which isn't really too big of a deal, honestly. And now we have Sphere Doomers. You fight 2 at the exact same time, which isn't really that bad, honestly. Not like, once again, Revenge of Dreamland. I'm not going to make too many comparisons to that game, honestly, but, just the Sphere Doomers themselves were just notorious in that mod of Luminous Wish. Is that their name now? I think that's their username. I don't quite remember offhand. Either way, I missed there, and then I make a play that kind of upsets me quite a bit here. I know he's going to go into that little flame here, so I jump up here. I wait for him to go over here, I jump up there waiting for him to go down, and I land too early and I get hit by the fire, which I'm not happy with because I didn't want to take any damage on this guy, but alas, some things are just not meant to be. The Ice Sphere Doomer is by far the easiest of the bunch because it never really reaches the side of the corners for you to hit at all. And you can also inhale its little dive balls. And like there, I hit another one as it was reflecting. And then here you could just wait for him to drop down. And then here you want to get to the corner and get in the middle there and float up so you don't get by the icicle spheres. Just wait there. And GG. That is it for the Sphere Loomers. Next up we have Goliath, which takes a while to learn because he just moves constantly, does not ever stay still, and hitting him is incredibly annoying. So the idea is to just wait until he's about to land. Like, don't try to hit him right after you inhale something. You're most likely never ever going to hit him that way. Just wait for him to stop moving like there, which he lands, and voila. Here, don't stay to the very edge, don't stay close to him, otherwise you will get hurt. I can just inhale another one of these right here. Good, once again, wait for you to land. Jump up. And then wait here, inhale, and launch him back, and we're in phase 2 already. Simple, simple. Now we can just wait for about 5 minutes for the next phase to be able to physically damage him with anything. Just wait for this thing to play out, just away from the center. Wait for that star to pop up, and voila, free damage. Hooray! And then here, just duck, but not at the very edge. Just kind of, once again, somewhat close to him. Wait for him to fall back down, right? So you won't gonna damage him too much. Shoot up, hit him. Wait for it. Inhale. And that is it. Yep, that was quick and painless. Literally. Metal General. This guy's fun. The idea is just, well, don't be afraid of him. Just pretty much stay at face all the time. First thing he's going to do is spin around like that, just jump over him, grab this star all the way he makes over here, shoot it back, grab these, shoot him back again, just float over him because he's going to have a star there, launch it back, jump up him, grab the star, and then he's going to start shooting this, so just stay close to him and inhale. And I kind of messed that up, but either way, I thankfully did damage to him before he could hit me just at the very last second. But alas. Now he's going to waste about 5 minutes making these large rockets. So I'm just going to do this in the meantime. And then he starts charging you with them. Don't need to move too far, just enough to get out of the way. And then, just get to this corner and start super inhaling. You can inhale those things, so that's nice. Inhale the second one. Then move out of the way. Shoot the star back as it lands. Grab those 2 stars. Hit them as well. Just wait for it. Shoot them back. And one more hit. There, I cannot figure out, after watching the footage multiple times, what I inhaled. I'm guessing I inhaled maybe one of the bullets that it shot at me, but it just, I got it before it even materialized on screen. Because I cannot figure out what I inhaled after watching that footage over and over again. But whatever, I inhaled something, that's all I know. Either way, Galacta EX, easy. You can inhale the first thing he shoots at you, he's going to run. He's already 2/3 of his health gone. Just wait here, he's going to charge at you or shoot something at you to inhale. And GG. Grab Kibble Blade. Head over to this corner. Shoot it back. Jump up. Grab the star leaves behind. Grab that star. Hit him. Grab that star. I missed. Dang. Doesn't really change the course of the battle too much at all. At all, literally. And here I make a bit of a bad play. Definitely a bad play. Now what I'm normally do here, I nail this perfectly. I'm supposed to stay over on the right side of Water Galburros when he does that, because then I could jump over him and then jump over and grab the little babies that thing makes. But I stayed to the left side, which caused me to take a lot more damage and stuff than I needed to. So it just caused me a lot more pain than was really necessary, and that was weird. It didn't materialized and damaged me when it teleported, and I didn't do anything to it either. Lose-lose for both of us. And then just grab one of these, and then just wait for it, and dead. Oh, no, not yet dead. Now you are, though. So that went on longer than it needed to, if I would have just made the right play, but I didn't, and therefore I took some damage I really didn't want to take, but it's still not much damage at all. I have to have, like, maybe 3/4 of my health left, maybe a little over 2/3 of my health left. Doesn't really matter. I have plenty of health items, and Fatty Puffer is not going to do anything for me at this point. So just float over him, just wait for him to charge. He's going to go all the way around, float up again, grab the star, and shoot it back. Dave's going to start jumping over towards you, so you can grab this one, and then just inhale his projectiles and shoot him back. Once again, land, grab a star, and then he's going to shoot water at you, shoot it back. Phase 1 gone. Now you're going into phase 2, which isn't really too much more difficult. Just float above it. You're going to be slide sweeping that way. Land. Stars. Shoot it back. He's going to shoot water at you. Inhale that. Land. Shoot it back. Now here, just stay to right above him, because that water jet will hit you, and you could aim it. So there's that. Grab one of these stalactites and just float over him, and then just float over him this way. And obviously the roll around thing like the smaller version did, but moves a lot slower too, so not really too bad. And then finally, well, nope, there's still one move here. Wait for that move to go on too. And now the final move we need to work on for is right here. We want to float up, because he's going to go ahead and slam over to the other side and drop the things as well. So grab one, shoot it back, and that's the end. That's it. Moving on. Now we have another mini boss rush. This one I did take damage on, but it was more so like intentional damage. You'll see what I mean. First phase, just for Gigant Edge. Whatever. I'll never get that name right. 2 damage right there. He's gonna jump up and slam down a shockwave. And that's it. Now grab him. Get over to this other side here. Wait for them to fully materialize. Shoot it back, and then start super inhaling. And even though I did get hit by the Waddle Doo, or King Doo, I still managed to defeat them because, well, I inhaled both of those and I managed to hit them while it was still on the ground. So that was a more time-saving technique. Sure, I took damage, and maybe there's a way I could maybe avoid damage without blocking or guarding, but I didn't, and I still just wanted to get over with anyway. Either way, Grand Doomer X, or EX rather. I've been saying X or EX this entire time. I don't even know. Going back to old habits, back to my old LP 11 years ago. Or is it 12? 12 years ago, I think. How long has it been? Either way, yep. This battle will go on a lot quicker now that I know how to end it a lot quicker. And how to hit him at every single opportunity. First phase is pretty much a joke. It could never get down to the bottom left or right corners, so it's never really an issue. Well, no, we can't with that attack. But you can just jump over that back and forth, not really a big deal. Wait for him to materialize again. Wait for him to fly. And that's it. Phase 1 is down. Phase 2 isn't too much more difficult. Just a lot more projectiles, and I guess there's a lot more times you have to stay off the ground. But that's it. Inhale one of those. Jump up. Stay floating so you don't hit by the electric spikes of the other one. Now, if I stayed over in the right corner and did this, I could have ended Grand Doomer right then and there. But, since I only inhaled one, I couldn't. Therefore, it's going to go on for a little bit longer than I would have liked, but still, it's not going to cause any damage to me. Now, I have no idea how that didn't hurt me, because that must have been like right on the edge of the hitbox. I was full on expecting to take damage from that, but I did not. Either way, Grand Doomer is down. Alright, how many is left at this point? 13, I think? 12. Oh, that's less than I thought. Yay! Alright, Landia. Landia is just a very, very slow boss. But very, very easy to take damage from if you're not careful. That flaps his wings attack is really annoying at times because it could sometimes be in a pattern that seems almost impossible to dodge. Either way, if you know it, every single opportunity it drops a star, you get multiple opportunities. Like here, for example, you grab this first star, shoot it back, grab that second star there. It's going to drop a star there. And just float over here. It's going to drop a star right there. And now phase 1 is already done and over with. Now, keep in mind, the Landia with the crown takes more damage than the rest of them. Slightly more as far as I can tell, but still more damage nonetheless. That could be critical for certain situations. This attack is easier in this version than it was in the non-EX version, just for the fact you can float above this for about 95% of the attack. And then once it starts going around that way, then you land again. Voila. Grab those. Hit the one with the crown. I managed to hit 2 hits out of that, so that's nice. Now, keep an eye on the one with the crown, because it's going to swoop down on you. Like, see, I kept an eye on it, and I also avoided the fire at the same time. Just be careful. 1 hit there, 1 hit there. 1 more hit could do it, but I don't have another star. So we're going to have to wait for this animation to play out, wait for all this to happen, so on and so forth, yada yada. And fire. That'll do it. That'll do it. And at this point, I believe all the bosses are in a specific order. No, that's not true. I found that out later. That's not true. I found that I wasn't expecting it. But here we have Water Goliath. I was trying to think for a while if I wanted, or Water Hydrath, I think. This is the one thing I can never figure out. Hydrath, I guess, yeah. This boss is a little bit more difficult than Goliath, obviously, but a lot of the attacks are pretty much the same. You just have to get the idea that if it teleports, the safe spot is where it was, so just keep that in mind. Here, it's better to just stay in the very middle, because it will change its position entirely by that. And also when it does the land like this, the ice doesn't appear immediately, but the water comes afterwards. It's delayed, and it comes on an arc, so it's easier to get hit by it, and a lot harder to inhale it. Here, instead of being large snowballs, they're large water balls, but you can still inhale them all the same, and they move a lot slower, so it's a lot easier out to avoid them. Second time he does that wind-up attack, it's never going to be a teleport thing, it will just be the first time legit. Either way, we're going to phase 2 now. And I just gotta wait for him to do his giant attack there, but it's never going to hit the corner. Ever. And most of the time the attack is going on, he almost never attacks you anyway, so therefore it makes no sense to try and do anything other than just wait for the water spot to go away. You can't inhale it, you'll only get hit by it. Now when it comes to those attacks where it kind of just like flails or crowds across the arena, just keep moving. At any given circumstance, never stop, because if you do stop, Hydrath will home in on you. I guess it also applies to Goliath as well. Just wait for it. So 1 more hit should do it. But once again, it's going to be this giant attack right here. And if you notice, it'll always just bounce around the center, off that little center spot, so you're always safe there. it makes no sense to, well, I missed the attack there. I could have easily ended this a lot earlier. Just wait for it. And once again, I could have ended that battle so much quicker than I did, but I made a lot of horrible mistakes that just prolonged it and made it more annoying where I actually took damage. Not fun, but whatever. I'll take it. I only got hit once. I technically only got hit because I ran into him. I'm pretty sure that was the case. Either way, we have Electric-y Duder. This element seems very similar. Okay, I said there's gonna be too many Revenge of Dreamland comparisons, but come on. This is like straight up exactly what Electric Duder was in that mod. It was kind of hilarious. Sometimes I wonder if see some of the stuff the fans make or talks about and decides to follow suit with some of that, or it was just a very, very, very interesting coincidence. But who knows? Either way, he has electricity. This deck's kind of cool how it pops into his hat and just chases you down. You would think that the idea would be to kind of like, as it's coming towards you, to go underneath it. But that's actually the worst thing you could do because it will follow you no matter where you are. Now, what I should have done there was, as it was retreating back out, I should have stayed over to the left of it. Instead, I thought about doing that way too late, and, well, that's that. Either way, that's that. So once again, I took damage, but only because I ran into the enemy myself rather than any of its attacks. This boss here is the most annoying one, in my personal opinion, out of the entire series. I don't know, I'm not good at this fight. There's so much on screen at one given time. I cannot find a way to, like, I know different tricks and different attacks to dodge and how to do that, but sometimes it's just so much on the screen at once and there's so much going on I can't really keep track. Either way, this corner here to the left is probably the safest spot overall, and I would say don't even attempt to try to hit two at the same time, because most cases the two on the screen, when they're on the same time at the same side of the screen, one is either too high for you to hit or just off the screen. So I would say focus on one at a time. Like right there, if you try to hit two, you would not be very fortunate in doing that. And there, they pretty much just appear before you can even hit two of them at the same time. So always aim for one. If you happen to hit a second one by accident, which is very well possible, that is honestly your best bet. I don't know why I decided to move from that corner I was at, which was clearly safe in at that moment, but that's life. See, there I accidentally hit a second one. Now keep this in mind as well. All four of them act like they have a different, act like they're separate bosses, where the fact you can hit four of them each individually. Like if you hit one, it's not like Landia, if you hit one, you can't hit any of the others. No, with these, you could hit each one individually. So if you happen to get a shot where you hit all four of them at the same time, it'll hit all four of them for 4 separate counts of damage at the same time. This attack right here is when that's crucial. Look at that. 3 hits, doing some very decent damage. Now here, don't stay too close, don't stay too far. I love how it does a little spinny thing with the whole explosion. Just keep in mind, those little brown spots have a delayed reaction. They can't harm you until they explode. So just be wary of that. Either way, I admit I did terrible in this fight. I might have started off somewhat decent, but I was pretty much getting psyched out this entire battle, and I gotta be honest, I was wondering if I was even gonna be able to make it through this battle because I was just failing so poorly at it. And I didn't want to use any souvenirs, obviously, because I'd defeat the whole run. So I was only hoping that I could pretty much recover myself or just survive just long enough to where it won't really affect me too much, because the next few bosses won't really be that bad either. So as long as I get through this one, it won't really make much of a difference in the long grand scheme of things. Now there, you want to jump up at the right time, and once again, by hitting all 3 of them, I only had to hit 2 of the 3, but it took them out regardless. So that is good for me. That is very nice. And now we have Fiery Puffer. I decided to take the regular tomato instead, just for the fact that I just need a small amount of health extra. You never know what may happen. I don't think anything will really happen with Fiery Puffer, because I pretty much nailed this one down too for the most part. I may very well just run into it by accident, which is what I've done for most of these bosses I took damage on at this point, but either way, one very huge difference about Fiery Puffer versus Fatty Puffer is that it will change its course midway, so keep that in mind as you're trying to adjust. It will never go on full on. If you're right in front of it as it's charging towards you, but you're away from the middle, it will go lower from you. So just that's a way to keep that in mind. Here you have the standard fireball attack. It has very big Mark Soul vibes going on here, where you see one come from the top, it's going to come at the top. You see the bottom, it's going to come from the bottom. Once again, I ran into it, causing damage. That's the 3rd time that happened in all these bosses. And keep in mind that that flame could hit the very side corner always. So, yep. Just be very careful when you jump over these flames. It's very easy to hit them. Just make sure you clear them. That's that. All 3 of the elemental bosses I only got hit by because I ran into them. Cool. Alright. Next up we have... What is this? I forget what this one's even called. Crowned Doomer? Or... yeah, oh, I was right. Oh, I guessed. I knew it was like crown. I knew it was something with a C. Okay. Either way, it's not too much different from Grand Doomer, except now it has electric attacks, and you see it using elemental attacks a lot more often. Like there, I messed up with my Super Inhale, so I normally get to just keep Super Inhaling, but I didn't do that, and I ended up stopping it early. That was my own fault. Doesn't change anything. I pretty much stop its first phase just as quickly, but either way, it is kind of frustrating when you miss your attack when you want it to, because it kind of takes you off balance. When you do these battles after a while, you have a set pattern. You know how it works. If you break that pattern or do something incorrectly, or miss a move and it doesn't end as quickly as you want, you're thrown off. You just have no idea what to do. It's like, wait, where am I? What did I do? I just missed something. This wasn't supposed to happen. And just... that happened all the time in Soul Melter EX, which is why that one frustrated me so much. That's a different story. That's a different topic than this one. But either way, first set of Doomers, just stay at the bottom. Second Doomer, stay at the top. Once again, just like the regular Rampaging Doomers, those things can only damage you, those little puffs of smoke can only damage you after they explode. But the patterns for them are a lot easier to avoid than they were for Rampaging Doomers. I will say, I would have thought that they would have made that attack hit on both sides, or only have one side not attack you, or like I will say, those laser patterns throw me off. Like, I don't think I've ever actually successfully learned those patterns very well, and admittedly, that's not very... I don't know why, but I had more issue with the lasers in Crowned Doomer than the actual final boss, but I'll get to that later too. Either way, I survived, and I'll take a Maximum Tomato. I'm probably not going to need it against HRD3, but in case I did, and I did take damage from HRD3, I didn't want that to be the point where I failed the run, because I would be upset with myself on a constant basis. Either way, HRD3 is pretty safe. Just lay him down on one side, go on the other side, hit him. Just float up. That fire wave afterwards is pretty high. It goes up like all the way half the screen. Stay from the edge. Stay on the other edge. Shoot it back. Wait for it. Oh, just let that go. Hit his hand as he spins around and just wait. I think I could have just stayed in that corner without moving and it would have been fine too. Stay over here. Keep in mind, the right fist could never hit you in the very left corner. The left hand definitely can. Or I guess vice versa. His left is my left, or his right, or whatever. You know what I mean. Either one, phase 1's not really too difficult. Phase 2 is where things get a bit more annoying because of all the bounces and wider beam coverage, different things. There you go, 3 free hits. I tried to get very cocky with the 4th one by inhaling it, but nope, I just got close to it and ran into him again. And if I didn't get that maximum tomato, that could have very well been my downfall right there. Stay close to him, but not too close. That guy can never hurt you in the corners when he does that attack. So stay away from the corners too. Don't even bother inhaling any of those missiles because HRD3 will follow up with this. So if you did have a projectile in your mouth, you would have to discard it anyway to avoid that fire attack. I still say DD Destroyer Z would have been a much better track for this, just considering the mechanical theme of it all. There, I kind of forgot that attack existed as I was trying to inhale one of the other stars, and took damage again. So basically, if I didn't heal up, that would have been the end of the run, almost guaranteed, because of my own, well, failures. Either way, that's it. Now we have Lour Starcutter EX. I can pretty much do this one no damage. It's not really that big of a deal. You can pretty much, considering it's lower HP in this game, in the arenas, you can take it out before it does anything real threatening whatsoever anyway. The only thing I can see taking damage from is that first attack. Like, the range of that attack is kind of off-putting, kind of throws you off guard at times. But that's it. I think out of all these times I've only ever been hit by that first attack. And one other attack, I guess, which I did figure out how to dodge, which I didn't really say figure out, but I just was more careful on dodging. And I ended up dodging it because it wasn't really too difficult anyway. But we'll get there in a sec. Either way, we're just striking face with it so far. These orbs, 2 flew there, then they kind of go around the other way. And then, of course, I almost messed up by getting way too close to it, but alas, did not happen. So yeah, no damage. Yay! And now we have Magolor EX. This is the same as it was before, just the same prolonging, please just do something so I can finish off this fight method, where none of it, like a few of the attacks home in on you, but very, very few do. And keep in mind, he will teleport 3 times and then stay in the same position. So the key to hit Magolor EX is to just wait until he teleports 3 times, and then bam, free hit. 3. See? Now the key is just waiting to get a projectile long enough to do so. That attack will never, ever, ever, ever hit the corners. Ever. You can just stay in the corner and be fine. See, that was the issue I had with a lot of these old bosses in Return to Dreamland, is that a lot of the attacks hit everywhere except the corners. So it's not like, oh, just stay out of the corner, stop corner camping. The problem is you can't, because most of the attacks hit everywhere except the corners. So therefore it only makes sense to stay in the corner, which is just extremely boring to do. Admittedly, yes, I agree, it is. And, well, I've already ranted about this, like, way too many times about this boss, but just, like, this boss just really shows its age, worse than any of the other bosses from Return to Dreamland, in my personal opinion. At least the other bosses seem like they're actively doing something, constantly moving across the... They're taking over whatever space, like rolling around, doing whatever. whereas Magolor just teleports. And you're just waiting for the opportunity to hit him or get a projectile to hit him with. And in the original, like, first phase, Magolor barely even does anything. And once you learn the patterns of all his moves, it's really hard to take damage because you can just inhale everything. But either way, I really wish they would have changed up Magolor EX's form a little bit in this game, because I don't see why they haven't. Honestly, they easily could have, because they sure changed up on other bosses. But enough complaining. Let's just wait until we get an opportunity to hit Magolor enough to die. Three times, hit. One, two, three, hit. And, oh, no. I was thinking that might have been able to finish you off, but no. Got to go just a little bit longer. Nope. There, once again, I messed up the super inhale. Didn't really change too much, but either way, let's just move on. Now we have Galacta Knight, who has a new trick. I think I've only ever seen one new move from Galacta Knight this entire time, but I will say I haven't fought a true knight like Galacta Knight for a really long time, who's quick and reads your moves as much as Galacta Knight does. So first time I fought Galacta Knight, I was a bit rusty on the whole matter, but once I learned and remembered, just stay close to him always. You can avoid every other attack just by jumping over it. You can prepare for every single attack, and you don't have to worry about him guarding, because if you just kind of walk towards him, he eats the hits. So first phase down, easy. And then it goes into phase 2. The same 3 patterns for those electricals will happen every time. You can't grab any of those swords, so you can't inhale those. At least I'm pretty sure you can't. I don't think I ever tried. Well, I'm pretty sure you can, because you can't inhale those things. You can inhale the stars they leave afterward. Now, I know it was... I knew I shouldn't have jumped over him, because I don't know if they changed the AI somewhat in this... Hold on a second, I'll talk about that later. That attack was changed to where now flames shoot up after he shoots that beam. Now, I'm not sure if the AI for Galacta Knight was changed up in this game at all, ever slightly, because I notice that whenever I jump over Galacta Knight, or like let alone float, every single time Galacta Knight manages to hit me in the air. Which, at that time, I did because I wanted to get 2 free hits on him afterward, but I don't remember ever having that much trouble just jumping over Galacta Knight last time, but I could be wrong. Maybe Galacta Knight is just ever so slightly faster, maybe they changed up the AI for Galacta Knight, but all the same, it's not really a big deal. Now we have the Master Crown. That is some amazing music for a tree. Either way, portals leave branches, hit the branches. That's about as exciting as it ever gets. Eventually you'll see apples dropped, in which you're just waiting for another portal to spawn to hit. It doesn't also get too much more difficult than that. Even this attack, well, that attack is just like every other attack with the laser shoots the ground, like HRD3 and Galacta Knight. But then phase 2 happens, And the attacks look really cool, but they're just really easy to dodge. Like, look at this attack. That looks devastating. Like, that looks really hard to dodge entirely. But there's only one thing you have to avoid. You could just jump over it like that at the right time. And that's it. And just wait for another route to appear again. And then here, just keep moving so none of the leaves hit you. Not too fast, you'll hit the wall and you'll get hit. Inhale this giant apple. Try shooting it back. Once again, I take damage by running into something rather than an actual attack. And then just wait for it. I barely dodged that. Slide click was crucial. And then get to that little light spot right there. And that's it. The Master Crown is down. That just leaves one more battle. And I'm sure you know exactly which battle that is. Yeah. Magolor. True Magolor. Magolor's Soul. This is pretty much the canon Magolor fight in this game. The one that leads to Magolor Epilogue. And this is easily the longest 2D fight in a Kirby game to date. This entire fight took 10 minutes. Now, that's not even including like mid-phases like the Titan Void or fighting Star Dream for like 15 minutes in the air. No, this is 10 minutes on the ground in a 2D battle. I've never fought anything for that long ever before. Either way, he starts off with all these patterns with the portals and everything else. There's no corner to hide in this game. And this, pretty much all the corner attacks are here. See, you're blocked off from there as he shoots off these projectiles towards you. You can't stay at the very left corner and inhale all of them. You have to move on a constant basis. The corners are your enemy. So really, this form of Magolor, unlike the corners being the safe zone, this safe zone is in the middle. So you have to change up your strategy accordingly. And I am honestly very surprised there was no Gordo in that onslaught of enemies, because there's so many enemies he shoots at you, it's almost always a guarantee to Gordo, so it's best just to run away from them. Now this is the only pattern of lasers you'll see Magolor shoot off here. Wait for them to fade away and just jump there, but that's it. They never change up beyond that time. And then here's another attack where if you had any projectile in your mouth you were saving, you would have to dispel it, because you have to float and avoid it that way. And I don't know what my strategy was there. Oh yeah, that's what I was doing. I was trying to jump up to hit him, and I hit the projectiles instead. So once again, same principle. Magolor teleports 3 times, stops. But the leeway to hit him after he stops is much shorter than Magolor EX. And even the regular Magolor Soul from the story mode. And here he'll do the puzzle 3 times, but the second screen will always be safe in the middle. It'll always use the same one every time. So here you'll see a bunch of portals there, trying to find the one safe zone. I had to slide kick to that one, but there I messed up again because I inhaled a star rather than inhaling the projectiles. And that is not off to a very good start here. And once again, I forgot about the whole teleporting thing and shot it back immediately and had that happen to me. I got to this same part another time where I could have easily beaten him, but I just forgot about the free teleport thing beforehand and ended up losing because of it. It's like my mind just immediately went blank and forgot the same strategy I was using for Magolor up until this point. Either way, these portals for the vines change up depending on where you are. And once again, it's going to be the same thing here where, once again, just stay in the middle, the very middle, until that last laser comes up, and it can hit that. It never changes at all. And here, once again, you can see a Gordos. Just keep moving. It's best not to try and inhale anything if you can't. And once again, he gets a little picture. So once again, it's going to be safe zone in the middle again for this one. And then followed up with a third picture immediately after. Once you know that the second one will always be the middle safe, that one's not really too big of a threat. Now, this attack, of course, you want to always get in the corner that he's going to launch it from. You can't float above it. You can't float all the way to the side. You have to be at the exact side in the very corner from where he's at. Of course, this one always goes from like straight, angle, angle, float above. I will say, I love what they did with Magolor Soul in this game. This is such a fun fight. Like, I loved this. I loved being on my toes on a constant basis. I loved the fear of the battle being so long and trying to keep my stamina up for that long to just wait for it. Like, and this is me hitting him at every opportunity I possibly can with the 3 teleport thing, knowing when that opportunity to hit him was. So, he just has a lot of HP. Either way, phase 1 is done. And then, you don't see those Magolor eyes anymore. Those are no longer there. It's just darkness. And then he goes on to a 5 super ability Onslaught. Phase 1, Sand. Easy to dodge, just run away from the tornado that's coming at you to the other side. Percentage of avoiding that attack for me, 100%. Second one, Mech, I believe. Just wait for the flames to go away before moving, and then just float over here, save from the middle, launch down, and inhale. I've been able to dodge that one 100% of the time, guaranteed. Wait for 3 times, hit. Third, beam attack. Oh, God. Alright, it's basically, he's going to shoot off 3 beams, and you're going to float over him at that precise angle there. And then slowly move over. Slowly. And then, well, he doesn't drop any projectiles for you, so you have to just wait for his next attack to go on. This one, you want to jump over at the exact time, and then duck. If he is on the ground, like when he does that attack, you need to look at his position. If he's at the very bottom, when he does that attack with the last one, the 4 crossing, you have to jump over it. This one, I have the least success rate of dodging every single time, because there's just so many falling icicles on this, and they're huge. And it's just like, everything is, now this attack, I don't know what it is. I'm not sure if the range of that sword is wider than it normally is, but I've been directly above him once and still get hit by the sword. So, and I've actually ran into Magolor with the sword as well. So, I'm not sure what the range is of that attack, but it is also not as easy to dodge as it was in the first one, but I think the hardest one is by far the hammer. Easily. Followed up by the flare beam. And look, even after that huge onslaught, I didn't even do a quarter damage to Magolor Soul yet. And I'm at a half of my health, after being at full health before the second phase started. That ultra attack, Onslaught, is brutal if you don't manage to dodge any of them. I honestly was not sure if I was going to be able to get to that other side in time, but thankfully I did. I also love Magolor's little chants in the background, too. Oh, phew. A lot of these attacks I'm getting very, very close on this leeway room here. I gotta say, I love this version of Crown. It is beautiful, with the chorus there in the background chanting. I just wish there was a version of this song, and maybe there is, maybe someone will let me know of it, I wish there was a version of this song without those Magolor sounds in the background. Like, I understand, yes, for the battle, like, you can tell Magolor's, like, calling for help. I think he actually says Kirby as he's screaming there. And that's a cool effect, and I do like that, but they could have made it a separate sound effect and just added that into the track itself. Because this it's just beautiful. Either way, same difference. Even in the second phase, this attack doesn't change up at all. It's the same. Once you get past the huge initial onslaught of the super abilities, everything else is just rhythm and knowing exactly how to dodge the attacks and successfully doing it. You've seen all these attacks before. Nothing really changed up too much there. It's just a matter of executing and avoiding them long enough for the battle to end. Because it is a long, long battle. And a lot of the attacks don't even have projectiles that drop either. So you're pretty much just waiting for the next opportunity to have a projectile that you can't hit them with. And if you miss your window of opportunity to hit them with that projectile, well, that's a whole nother issue. See, that attack as well, like, I saw it coming too, but I'm like, I don't want to let go of this giant, like, star pellet I have, yet I don't want to get hit by that giant orb at the right. That's another corner counter, but I thought that the damage to him was worth the damage I would take overall. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more once you get this attack. Alright. Well, no opportunity to attack you this time. Just gonna have to wait a little bit longer. Just stay away from the corners. I'll have opportunity very shortly to hit you with. 1, 2, 3. One more hit. That's all I need. And once again, it goes into a super ability phase, where if you dodged all those attacks beforehand, you have another onslaught of 5 super abilities to go through. So hopefully you did enough damage to where you can take him out in the first 2 super abilities. Thankfully, I did. And that is going to be it. We'll see you in... Well, we know where you're going. And the final time, 46 minutes and 6 seconds. So there we go. True Arena complete. Probably the last one I'll ever have to do. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time.